Hey everyone, and welcome to What Did I Miss? Where today I have an interesting rumor that I would like to share with you about the reboot of the classic science fiction series Babylon 5. Now, rumors are commonplace online and are often unsubstantiated, but this one makes a lot of sense to me and could be very exciting if true, and that is that the new version of the series could be heading towards a home on HBO Max and not the CW as was originally reported. Here I will go over the details behind this and also why I think a new version of Babylon 5 airing on HBO Max would be better for the series in the long run. But before I get into all that, I want to thank you for clicking on this video and ask that if you do enjoy what you hear, to please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for all the latest sci-fi news and updates as well. In case you are not aware of the background behind a reboot of Babylon 5 and its status, I put out a couple of videos over the last few months that I will put a link to in the description if you would like to check out. But just to give you the Cliff's Notes version, in September of 2021, it was announced by the creator and main force behind Babylon 5, J. Michael Straczynski, that he had been hired by the CW to write the script for a new Babylon 5 pilot. At the time, the hope was that after the script was completed, that the show would be picked up by the network and would go into production in 2022. If you think that the CW is an odd network for Babylon 5 to be attached to, as you really don't hear a lot about shows like B5 on the network, Babylon 5 actually has a long history with the company, as when it first aired in syndication, it was released by the predecessor of the CW, which was also owned by Warner Brothers. Surprisingly, a few weeks ago, GMS once again took to social media to update fans as to the status of the project and revealed that his pilot script for a reimagined Babylon 5 was not picked up by the network. However, he went on to say that the project was not dead and instead was in a holding pattern. GMS attributed this mostly to the fact that the CW network is in the process of being sold, as the AT&T Warner Brothers entertainment divisions are restructuring heavily over these next few years. So while the creator of the series did express his disappointment at this bump in the road, he also was highly optimistic that his script would eventually be made. But the fact that the CW is being sold off in pieces is not a great sign that this network would even be a good home for a new series, especially a new series that already has an established and committed fan base that would be highly disappointed if their favorite series was brought back to life but not given the reverence it deserves. Reboots are all too common today, and it is getting more and more difficult to create a new version of a familiar story in this landscape. So if and when Babylon 5 is brought back to screen, it will have to be associated with a network and creative team that can properly invest in it, and is not just looking to make an easy buck off the backs of an established fan base. This is why it always made sense to me that this series be released on HBO Max and not the CW, and now it looks like that may in fact be what happens. A YouTube channel that goes by the name Side Tech released a video this week in which the content creator claims to have insider knowledge that there already have been promising discussions at Warner Brothers about Babylon 5 being rebooted on HBO Max. He goes on to say that this is the main reason as to why the pilot was not picked up by the CW, as the belief is that this series is best suited for the subscription service and not a broadcast network. Now, why is HBO Max a better home for Babylon 5 than the CW? Well, as I said, the CW is on its last legs, while HBO Max is positioning itself to be one of the most popular subscription services in the world. In 2021, HBO Max started becoming available in countries around the world like Denmark and Spain as it continues to grow its user base, and in 2022, they have plans to release their service in 21 more territories such as Greece, Poland, and the Netherlands. Not only that, but they plan to invest over $18 billion in new content in an effort to make their mark in the streaming service marketplace. The two other heavyweights in the worldwide streaming market currently are Netflix and Disney, with Netflix only planning to invest $17 billion in 2022 and Disney investing $33 billion, but their new content figure is more difficult to calculate because of the company's investment in the rights to sporting events. But what this means is that Warner Brothers and HBO Max are determined to make this a three-horse race between them and these two networks, and are doing so by investing heavily in new content. Also, science fiction is a genre that is very popular right now, with all the major streaming channels making investments in tentpole franchises. Of course, Disney and Paramount have a huge leg up in this genre, with their ownership of the Star Wars and Star Trek franchises, respectively, but it seems like every other network is trying to find their own sci-fi franchise to set up as their next big thing. When the new Apple TV network was launched, the new series The Foundation was promoted heavily, as that network hopes the series based on the works of Isaac Asimov will attract sci-fi fans to their network. Hulu is also investing heavily in sci-fi in 2022, as the network is the new home of the Seth MacFarlane series The Orville, a new series set in the Alien universe, as well as a new movie based in the Predator universe. Netflix has been the heavyweight champ of streaming for some time now, so they don't have to chase trends as much. but even they have seen some success in the world of science fiction with the series The Expanse, as well as the reimagined version of the classic series Lost in Space. As I mentioned earlier, both Paramount and Disney have had success with their sci-fi tentpole franchises and are creating new stories that are set in the same universe of their established and very popular characters. Because of this, both Star Trek and Star Wars have more than one series currently airing on their respective networks, and both franchises have brand new series set to debut this year. But HBO does not really have a trademark sci-fi series right now that fans of the genre can flock to. In fact, a recent article by the e-zine Collider of the best series on HBO Max to watch listed the remastered versions of Babylon 5 from the 1990s as the best sci-fi series on the service. I would argue that Raised by Wolves is a fine show and in the realm of science fiction, but it has a completely different tone and setting than Babylon 5 does, so any association between the two would be in genre only. But the point is that if HBO Max does want to be a powerhouse in the worldwide streaming market, they need a science fiction property that is easily marketable and has an established fan base. And Babylon 5 just so happens to check both of those boxes. Not to mention that since HBO Max decided to release the remastered versions of Babylon 5 back in 2021, the service already has a large group of subscribers that are fans of the series. Now, many people may point to the fact there are too many streaming services to pay for, and that they were excited about a new Babylon 5 to be on a free broadcast network. Well, unfortunately, it looks as though network broadcasting is going the way of the dodo bird and is no longer a growing platform. A survey held in May 2021 showed that only 44% of respondents were currently subscribed to a cable television service, which is compared to 47% who said the same in a study conducted just 2 years prior. This number is expected to drop even lower faster in the next few years, as now streaming services like HBO Max are releasing new movies either in conjunction with theatrical releases or they are releasing them strictly on their subscription service. HBO Max reported that their subscription base grew to 74 million by the end of 2021, which seems like a lot, but compared to the 118 million subscribers that Disney has and the 214 million subscribers that are signed up for Netflix, it is a sign that HBO Max still has a lot of ground to catch up with. So while it is never a good idea to fully believe any rumor before it is proven true, the facts that are based around this rumor seem to make a lot of sense to me. HBO Max is definitely an up-and-coming streaming service that is investing heavily in its future, and the CW is a network that is about to be torn apart. If the streaming service does want to make a mark in the worldwide landscape, they are going to need properties that fans associate with their brand. Babylon 5 is a franchise that fans already associate with HBO Max, since the original series has been available for a year and is so popular there that it is known as the best science fiction option currently available on the service. Even though most fans would rather not pay for another service, that does appear to be the way the environment is changing, and if this means that putting Babylon 5 behind a paywall will lead to a better product and put it on a more popular medium, then that can only mean good things for the show. Also, positioning Babylon 5 as the main science fiction franchise for the service would give it even more push and visibility, and HBO Max is in need of a tentpole sci-fi franchise if it wants to compete with Disney, Netflix, and even Paramount. So this is why I do believe this rumor and hope that we get an announcement this year that Babylon 5 is being rebooted on HBO Max. But what do you think about this rumor, and would you like to see a new version of Babylon 5 on HBO Max? Well, that is all I have for today, but let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. Please hit that like button if you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on What Did I Miss?